Crossing the Dragon Ball world and becoming the protagonist Sun Wukong, he gains the protagonist system at the beginning and can immediately draw an anime protagonist template. Su Xian tried to draw and found a Naruto protagonist template. Therefore, the system followed the Naruto protagonist template and captured an angel sealed inside Sun Wukong's body. Several years later, Sun Wukong transformed into a Super Saiyan with a silver-white aura on his body. Billus. Damn it, Sun Wukong is clearly a Saiyan, but he possesses the power of an angel. Vegeta. Yes, even though they are all saints, why haven't I? Sun Wukong said, cough, there's nothing I can do. Who wouldn't let you guys be the main characters? Chapter 1. Crossing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dragon Ball World. In 749 AD, on Baozi Mountain. A young man with a crab hairstyle and wearing a blue martial arts uniform was looking at the sky with a bewildered expression. This person is the protagonist of the Dragon Ball anime, Sun Wukong. However, the Sun Wukong in front of me is not the Sun Wukong in the original Dragon Ball novel, but a great young man from the 21st century who has crossed over to him. More than 10 minutes ago, Su Xian, who had just finished working overtime, was preparing to go home. Suddenly, his eyes turned black, and by the time he opened them again, he had already traveled to the world of Dragon Ball, becoming Sun Wukong, who was only 12 years old, and had also obtained all of Sun Wukong's memories. After learning that he was traveling, Su Xian immediately cursed at the unscrupulous boss who made him work overtime. But after cursing, his heart suddenly became empty. Suddenly losing all family and friends, even the strongest person cannot accept it all at once. Hey! Su Xian sighed and his gaze withdrew from the sky. An electronic synthesized sound appeared and rang in his ear. Ding, there's no doubt about confirming the host. Let's start recognizing the host now. 1%, 2%, 3%. A blue progress bar with a percentage written appears. System. Su Xian exclaimed in surprise. When Su Xian was in college, he had read many novels, and the main characters in these novels usually had a systematic approach. Ding, the protagonist system has completed identifying the protagonist. The protagonist now has one chance to draw the protagonist template. Do you want to draw it? Extract. Good master. Ding, congratulations to the master for extracting the Naruto protagonist template. The system is now capturing angels for you. Heaven. Angels. Upon hearing these words, Su Xian's face immediately changed. Angels are even more powerful than God of Destruction. Wait. What does it want to capture angels for? Ding, the system has captured a sleeping angel for you and sealed it inside your body. Wait for the system, why did you seal the angel inside me? Returning to the master, what you have drawn is a Naruto protagonist template. The Naruto protagonist, Naruto Vortex, was born shortly after and had 9 tails sealed inside his body, becoming a human pillar. Due to the different levels of the world, the system has captured an angel based on the template extracted by the owner and sealed it inside your body. In addition, the owner will also receive the Dragon Ball version of Shadow Clone, Transformation, Control Super Ability, and an Angel Staff. As soon as the words fell, Su Xian's mind immediately had a pile of memories about the technique of Shadow Transformation and Transformation. The Naruto's Shadow Clone technique relies on chakra, and the Shadow Clone technique he obtains is used by consuming energy. System, shouldn't this angelic staff be the one that seals the angel staff inside me? Well. The master is really smart. You guy. That system, is the angel sealed inside me male or female? Will he suddenly wake up inside me? What's causing me to lose control of? Don't worry, master. Normally, she won't wake up. General. Yes, she may wake up when you lose control of your emotions. Is it still possible for him to occupy my body? He sounds the same as her. this. There is indeed a slight possibility. As expected, you are a deceitful system. Master, you can't rely on me. This is the protagonist template you drew yourself. And Master, as long as you practice strong enough in the future, you can use the power of the sealed angel. Can I use the power of angels now? No, your body is too weak now. If you forcibly use the angel now, you may explode and die. By the way, the system, you haven't answered me yet. The angel sealed inside my body is male or female. You will know about this, Master, in the future. In the future. No, I need to know now. System. After waiting for a moment and the system didn't respond to him, Su Xian shouted to the system. The system still doesn't respond to him. Alright system, I won't ask if he's male or female now. I want to know if your system has any tasks or anything. Generally, system stream novels receive rewards by completing system tasks. No, Master, you are the protagonist, so everything depends on yourself. By myself. Yes, but the system will reward the owner once they reach a certain level of strength. Are you talking about achieving a certain level of strength? How strong is it? At least the Super Series. Okay. After listening, Su Xian had to give up the idea of relying on the system to become stronger. From now on, I will be Sun Wukong. Su Xian suddenly lifted his head and said to himself. 3 days have passed in a blink of an eye. Sun Wukong learned the dance of the sky technique on his own during these 3 days by mastering Qi through the Dragon Ball version of the Shadow Clone technique obtained from the system. At this moment, Sun Wukong was practicing the martial arts taught by Lao Wufan in front of his home. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a motorcycle. Sun Wukong paused to practice and looked in the direction of the sound. He saw a young girl with long blue-green hair on her head in a pink dress, riding a white motorcycle over. This person is Buma. After a while, Buma drove his motorcycle to the doorstep of Sun Wukong's house and stopped. Buma smiled and greeted Sun Wukong. Hello little brother, may I ask if this is your home? Sun Wukong nodded. Is your family around then? I'm the only one in my family. A person. Buma said and took out the Dragon Ball radar from her pants pocket to check. According to the Dragon Ball radar, the Dragon Ball she was looking for was on Sun Wukong. What's your name, little brother? Buma smiled and said. My name is Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, I'll ask you, do you have an orange-yellow bead on your body? Yeah, what's wrong? Can you give that bead to your sister? No, that's my grandfather's relic, I can't give it to you. Grandpa's relics. Did you just mean, you live here alone? Yeah. But this place is filled with wild beasts everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, so I never worry about food. Food. Upon hearing this, Buma's expression slightly changed. Although Sun Wukong is young, his body looks very strong. If he were to take action against her, by the way, haven't you told me your name yet? Buma. After listening, Buma hesitated for a moment and said. No. Upon hearing this, Sun Wukong immediately laughed. Don't laugh, and this name was obtained by my parents. What can I do? After listening, Sun Wukong continued to smile. After seeing it, Buma had to endure it. Chapter 2. Setting off to search for Dragon Ball. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sun Wukong, how could you be willing to give me the Dragon Ball in your hand? I want a gravity chamber. Although the 4-star Dragon Ball is a relic of Lao Wufan, after using it, the 7 Dragon Ball will spread throughout the earth. He only needs to find it again. His most important thing now is to improve his strength. Gravity chamber. Yeah. But we don't have the gravity chamber you mentioned on Earth, why don't you change the conditions? But all I want is a gravity chamber. How about that? Let's go find the Dragon Balls together. As long as you help me gather all 7 Dragon Balls, I'll create a gravity chamber for you. How about that? Manufacturing. Yeah, my dad is a genius inventor. Maybe he can help you create a gravity chamber, but if it doesn't work out, we'll use the collected 7 Dragon Balls to make a wish to the Divine Dragon. Divine Dragon. Sun Wukong pretended not to know. Yeah. Bulma said, taking out a 5-star Dragon Ball from her bag. Wukong, is this bead very similar to the Dragon Ball on your body? There are 5 stars on this Dragon Ball, so it is a 5-star Dragon Ball. 5-star Dragon Ball. Yes, there are a total of 7 dragon beads. As long as we gather all 7 dragon beads, we can summon a divine dragon, and the divine dragon can help us fulfill our wishes. How about Wukong? Do you want to go find the Dragon Ball with me? Originally, Bulma didn't really want to take Sun Wukong to search for the Dragon Ball, but the request Sun Wukong just made was somewhat difficult for her. In addition, the journey to find the Dragon Ball was difficult, and for safety reasons, she invited Sun Wukong to search for the Dragon Ball with her. Will you really give me a gravity chamber? Of course. Bulma patted her chest with her right hand and said. Okay then. After listening, Sun Wukong hesitated for a moment and said. Great, then Wukong, why don't you pack your clothes and start with me? Sun Wukong nodded. After a while, Sun Wukong packed his clothes into a big bundle and tied it around his body. Bulma looked at Sun Wukong's lucky stick and said. Wukong, what are you doing with a stick when you go out? This is not a stick, but a lucky stick. Rui stick. Well, it can listen to me and automatically grow longer and shorter. Automatic. The Rui stick extends. Sun Wukong shouted towards the Rui stick. After listening to the Rui stick, it immediately grows upwards. After seeing it, Bulma immediately opened her eyes wide. Rui stick shortens. After listening to the Rui stick, it immediately changed back. How about Bulma? Sun Wukong smiled and said. Not bad. Not bad. By the way, Wukong, how old are you this year? 12 years old, what about you, Bulma? 16, then I'm 4 years older than you. Sun Wukong nodded. After seeing it, Bulma immediately got onto the motorcycle lane. Wukong, can you sit up? Okay. Sun Wukong said as he climbed onto the motorcycle, holding Bulma in both hands. Bulma twisted the accelerator with his right hand. With a roar, the motorcycle immediately sped forward. After driving for an hour, Bulma suddenly stopped his motorcycle on a flat road. What's wrong, Bulma? I need to go to the bathroom urgently, you can't come over. Oh. After seeing it, Bulma immediately ran towards a large stone ahead. Sun Wukong happened to have some urge to urinate, so he came to a grassland and fertilized it. Suddenly, Bulma screamed from a distance. Sun Wukong immediately put on his pants and ran in, seeing a blue pterosaur grabbing Bulma with his claws. Wukong, save me. Bulma begged Sun Wukong for help. Kid, do you want to meddle in your own business? The blue-winged dragon threatened Sun Wukong. Yeah. Is that right? After hearing this, the blue-winged dragon immediately waved its wings, wanting to fly towards the sky. Sun Wukong's eyes suddenly emitted a white light, making the body of the blue-winged dragon unable to move. And this is exactly the control superpower that Sun Wukong obtained from the system. Body. I can't move anymore. The blue-winged dragon was startled. Sun Wukong stepped forward with his body and forcefully broke open the claws of the blue-winged dragon, rescuing Bulma. Thank you for saving me, Wukong. After hearing this, Sun Wukong nodded and let the blue-winged dragon regain its movement. Body. The body can move now. If you don't want to be my dinner, then go away. Yes, I'll go now. Upon hearing this, the blue-winged dragon was immediately frightened and flew towards the sky. Wukong, I haven't peed yet. Can you leave? Okay. After a while, the two of them finished urinating, and they continued to set off. Wukong, what happened just now? Why did his body suddenly become immobile? That's my superpower. Are you talking about superpowers like those in movies? Sunset and dusk. Bulma stopped at a place because the sky was too dark. Then, take out a universal capsule from the one you are carrying and throw it onto the ground in front of you. Bang! With a burst of huge white smoke, a semi-circular house appeared on the ground. Bulma walked in with Sun Wukong. The house has a lobby, kitchen, 2 rooms, and a bathroom. As soon as Bulma walked in, she lay directly on the sofa. Gollum. The sound of hunger came from Sun Wukong's stomach. Bulma, my stomach is hungry. There's food in the refrigerator. Bulma pointed to the refrigerator and said. After listening, Sun Wukong immediately walked to the refrigerator and opened it. There are many breads and frozen foods inside. If Sun Wukong were just an ordinary person, of course these things would be enough for him to eat. But he is a Saiyan with a very large appetite, and compared to bread, he still prefers to eat meat. Bulma, the fridge is mostly filled with bread. I'll go outside and look for some food instead. Outside. Wait for Wukong. It's so dark outside now, are you not afraid of those wild beasts in the forest? Don't worry, it would be even better if they automatically deliver it to your door. But. Before Bulma could finish speaking, Sun Wukong had already left. Wukong. Bulma shouted at Sun Wukong and ran out. But Sun Wukong no longer knew where he had gone. Bulma had no choice but to start cooking dinner on her own. After a long time, Sun Wukong caught several wolves from the forest and came back. There are no other wild animals around here besides wolves. Wolf. Bulma was immediately startled as she looked at the wolf brought back by Sun Wukong. In her opinion, Sun Wukong was simply a monster. Bulma, do you want to eat wolf meat? No, I don't want to eat that kind of thing. Bulma said and immediately ran back into the house, closing the door. The smell of wolves is really a bit unpleasant. You're not allowed to come in until you finish those wolves. Bulma, can you bring some seasoning? Chapter 3. Guixian Man. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Salt, chili powder. Sun Wukong revealed the seasoning he needed. Bulma gave him the seasoning that Sun Wukong needed from the house. Sun Wukong picked up some firewood from the forest and started a barbecue outside the Bulma house. After a long time, Sun Wukong grilled the wolf meat and bit it hard. After finishing the roasted wolf, Sun Wukong returned to Bulma's house. Wukong, do you know how to use the bathroom shower? Do you want me to help you drain the water? In her opinion, Sun Wukong has always lived in the mountains and may not use showers. No need, I can use it myself. Really, then since that's the case, you can go take a shower first. I'll go take a shower after you finish. Okay. The next day. Sun Wukong got up early in the morning and went out to practice martial arts. Suddenly, he saw a turtle shell in the distance. Sun Wukong walked over and saw a turtle the size of a human. This sea turtle is exactly the one raised by the turtle fairy. The turtle felt a bit complicated when he saw Sun Wukong, because he didn't know whether Sun Wukong was a good or bad person. If Sun Wukong were a bad person, he didn't know what his future fate would be. Are you a turtle, right? Sun Wukong asked the turtle. Yes, I'm a turtle. I don't know what you call that. My name is Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong nodded. That young master Sun Wukong, can I ask you something? What's going on? I haven't drunk water for a long time, can you give me some water to drink? Okay. Sun Wukong said and immediately returned to the house, calling Buma up. After hearing about turtles outside, Buma took out the salted water. Seawater usually only comes to the seaside, so she can only add some salt to make the taste of the water similar to seawater. After tasting a sip of salt water, the turtle asked Buma. Miss Buma, I haven't eaten for a long time. Do you have seaweed or something? You have so many demands, you guy. Please, as long as you help me, I will repay you. Okay. Buma said and went inside to take out seaweed and add it to the bucket. The turtle looked at the seaweed added to the bucket and immediately ate it in large gulps. Quickly, a bucket of seaweed was eliminated by the turtles. The turtle let out a big burp. Turtles shouldn't be in the ocean, how could they appear here? Buma asked the turtle. Yes, I'm a turtle, that's right, but I really like mushrooms. In order to pick mushrooms, I swam ashore, but unknowingly got lost. Ah, it turned out to be a greedy turtle. After listening, the turtle looked embarrassed and lowered its head. Those two, I also want to ask you something. As long as you help me complete this task, I will definitely repay you. Buma. You just said the same thing. What about the reward? This time it's true, as long as you take me back to the sea, my master will definitely thank you. Master. Yeah. No, the ocean is too far, we won't go to the ocean. Sun Wukong, young master. After listening, the turtle immediately looked at Sun Wukong. Wukong, you must not agree. The Dragon Ball we are looking for is not even on the other side of the sea. What's the matter? I just haven't seen the sea before. Sun Wukong said. How do you take him to the sea? He's so heavy. There's nothing I can do with my motorcycle. I just need to carry him on my back. Carrying it on your back. But it's very slow. Don't worry, I run very fast, or are you in a hurry to find the Dragon Ball? Of course, Buma was eager to find the 7 Dragon Balls, but she didn't have the 4-star Dragon Ball on Sun Wukong's body, and she couldn't gather all the 7 Dragon Balls. Alright, I'll go with you, but I'll have to wait until I finish breakfast. Sun Wukong nodded. After 7 o'clock. After finishing breakfast, Buma put away the universal capsule of the house and prepared to ride a motorcycle to the beach with Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, however, flew up with a turtle on his back. The turtle was immediately startled and it saw Sun Wukong carrying it in the air. And Buma was surprised by Sun Wukong's empty dance technique. After all, in her perception, humans are definitely impossible to fly. Of course. She doesn't know if Sun Wukong is human. So Buma, let's go. Sun Wukong spoke to Buma. After hearing this, Buma immediately came to her senses and said. Wukong, how could you fly in the sky? Is this also a superpower? No, this is a dance technique. It's a bit complicated to explain. Let's hurry and I'll tell you while we go. Okay. After hearing this, Buma immediately started the motorcycle and rode forward. On the way to the sea, Sun Wukong and Buma explained the principle of the dance technique. Since you can fly, why are you still riding my motorcycle? Even if I can fly, it will consume my stamina. You guy. Do you have any other powerful moves besides being able to fly? Sun Wukong smiled and said. I'll know this later on. Buma snorted coldly. If you don't say it, I don't want to know yet. Half a day later. Sun Wukong took the sea turtle to the seaside. The turtle saw the sea and immediately climbed into the sea with an excited expression, saying to Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, young master, please wait for me for a while. I will go and bring my master now to repay your life-saving kindness. Sun Wukong nodded. After seeing it, the turtle quickly swam forward. Sun Wukong, feeling bored with his leisure, picked up a stone on the ground and started a water float. Shoo! Bang! 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 Sun Wukong threw the stone and made dozens of water floats on the sea surface. Although Bulma felt a little surprised, she still maintained a calm expression on her face. After all, Sun Wukong is not an ordinary person. Bulma waited for a long time but didn't see the turtle coming back, so she felt a bit impatient and said, "Wukong, did you say that the turtle was lying to us?" "I don't think so." As soon as the words fell, Sun Wukong suddenly saw a person standing on the back of a turtle in the distance, approaching them. This person is an old man without any hair on his head. The old man was wearing a yellow shirt with many letters of K and white shorts, with a pair of sunglasses in his eyes and a pair of flip-flops on his feet. It looks very trendy. And this person is the owner of the turtle fairy. When the turtles were not far from them, Bulma also discovered the turtles swimming back. "Wukong, is that person the owner of the turtle?" Bulma pointed to the turtle fairy on the turtle's back. "I think so." After a while, the turtle docked. The turtle fairy walked down from the turtle's back and looked at the two people. "Hello, my name is Guixian Man. May I ask who the two of you saved my turtle?" Chapter 4. Jiggling Cloud and Dragon Ball. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was this young man who saved me. The turtle lifted its forelimbs and pointed towards Sun Wukong. Oh. After hearing this, Guixian immediately looked at Sun Wukong. "Thank you for saving my turtle. As a token of gratitude, I'll give you a gift." "Gift?" The turtle fairy leaned on a cane and walked backwards. The turtle fairy lifted his crutch in his right hand and said to the sky, "Come on, immortal bird." The immortal bird. After hearing this, Bulma's face immediately showed a hint of interest. But after waiting for a while, there were no birds flying in the sky. "Is there nothing?" Bulma said. At this moment, the turtle lying behind the turtle fairy reminded. "The undead bird kid died of food poisoning last year." "Sorry, I forgot all about it." Bulma remained speechless about this. How could it die if it's not called an immortal bird? "I named him Undead Bird in the hope that he wouldn't die." "Okay, let's replace it with that thing. Come on, Jiggling." The turtle fairy lifted his crutch in his right hand again and said to the sky. "Bulma. Jido Cloud. Is it the funnel that guides gold?" Shoo. After a while, a yellow cloud flew from the sky and stopped in front of the turtle fairy. This is the somersault cloud, but only pure-hearted people can sit on it. Inner purity. Yes, I'll demonstrate it to you now. The turtle immortal leaped with both feet and quickly jumped onto the somersault cloud. But his body went straight through the somersault cloud, and his buttocks fell heavily to the ground. Pain, pain. The turtle immortal let out a loud cry and climbed up from the ground with his hands covering his buttocks. The turtle standing on the side was speechless about this. "You guy, you actually think you're pure?" Upon hearing this, the turtle fairy immediately blushed. "That. Grandpa, I don't want to do somersault clouds. Can I have the bead on your neck?" Dragon Ball. At this moment, Bulma also noticed the 3-star Dragon Ball hanging around the neck of the turtle fairy. "Don't. Are you afraid that you won't be able to sit up?" The turtle immortal looked at Sun Wukong with a meaningful expression on his face. "No, I can already fly, so this somersault cloud is of no use to me." "Can you fly?" Sun Wukong nodded. After hearing this, Guixian glanced at the 3-star Dragon Ball road hanging around his neck. "If you can sit on the somersault cloud, I can give you both the somersault cloud and this bead." "Okay." After hearing this, Sun Wukong leaped with both feet and jumped onto the somersault cloud. Jump. Jump up. The turtle fairy was startled. He didn't expect that Sun Wukong could really sit on it. Turtle. Truly worthy of being the young master of Sun Wukong. Step on. Sun Wukong descended from the somersault cloud and turned towards the turtle immortal humanity. Grandpa, can you give me the bead on your neck? Okay. The turtle immortal took off the three-star dragon ball hanging around his neck and handed it to Sun Wukong. Great, we got another dragon ball. Bulma said happily. By the way, I just forgot to ask, what are your two names? My name is Bulma, his name is Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. That name sounds so familiar. The turtle fairy said and looked at the Rui stick in Sun Wukong's hand. Aren't you? A lucky stick. Yeah, this is what my grandfather gave me. Your grandfather, is your grandfather Sun Wukong? Do you know my grandfather? The turtle fairy nodded. Is your grandfather okay then? He's already dead. Really, that's really a pity. After hearing this, the turtle fairy suddenly felt a little sad in her heart. Let's go back, turtle. The turtle nodded. Sun Wukong, young master, and Bulma, how long will we meet later? The two nodded. After speaking, the turtle swam away with the turtle fairy on its back. As one person and one turtle gradually drifted away, Bulma immediately looked at Sun Wukong's somersault cloud. Since Wukong can step on it, I should be able to step on it too. Bulma leaped with both feet and jumped up towards the somersault cloud. Bang! Bulma, like the turtle fairy, passed through the somersault cloud with her body and her buttocks fell heavily to the ground. After seeing it, Sun Wukong couldn't help but laugh. Damn it! Bulma gritted her teeth and climbed up from the ground. Fortunately, the turtle fairy and the others had already left, otherwise there would have been more people laughing at her. Then Wukong, let's continue our journey. Okay. Sun Wukong said, jumped up to the somersault cloud, and lay down. After reading it, Bulma felt envious but could only continue riding the motorcycle. The next day. The two of them arrived at a village based on the Dragon Ball radar. But as soon as the people living in the village saw the two, they immediately closed the door. Wukong, what's wrong with the people in this village? Why did they close the door as soon as they saw us? I don't know. Sun Wukong shook his head. Forget it, it's still important to find the Dragon Ball. Bulma said and brought Sun Wukong to a closed-door house before stopping. According to the Dragon Ball radar, the Dragon Ball we are looking for is right in this house. Wukong, go knock on the door and see if anyone is at home. Okay. Sun Wukong stepped forward and knocked on the door. But there was no response inside. Sun Wukong forcefully pushed forward with his right hand, and the door was instantly pushed open. Is there no one around? Bulma said. No, there's someone. Sun Wukong can sense Qi and naturally sense whether there is anyone inside the house. Since there are people, why don't they come out? Bulma puzzled and said. I don't know. Sun Wukong spoke and walked into the room. A middle-aged man suddenly appeared from the right side, holding an axe in both hands, and fiercely swung towards Sun Wukong's head. Sun Wukong stepped back and the axe immediately struck the ground. Bulma, who was following Sun Wukong, was immediately startled when she saw this behind the scenes. Although she came in without the consent of the homeowner, there's no need for her to act so harshly, right? The middle-aged man saw the axe strike into the air and immediately knelt down in front of Sun Wukong, saying, I'm sorry, the Oolong King. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have rebelled against you, but please let my daughter go. Dad. The girl standing behind the middle-aged man spoke up. Bulma looked at the girl behind her with a puzzled expression on her face. What kind of Oolong King? Aren't you the Dragon King? After hearing this, the middle-aged man immediately stood up from the ground. Of course not, we're from somewhere else. After hearing this, the middle-aged man immediately relaxed his airway. Did you tell me earlier? Booma. The key. You didn't ask either. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. The middle-aged man apologized to Sun Wukong. The previous text may be somewhat similar to the original work, but not later on. Chapter 5. Oolong. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. By the way, who is the Oolong king you mentioned? Booma asked. After hearing this, the girl burst into the arms of the middle-aged man with a crying expression on her face. The Oolong king is a monster living here, a quite strong and ruthless terrifying guy. The middle-aged man said. Booma. Monsters. Not only that, he also has various transformation techniques, and no one knows his true face at all. What's even more despicable is that guy is lascivious and has already abducted several girls from the village. Just yesterday, Oolong turned into a ghost and came to the village again. My daughter and I met him and he asked me to marry my daughter to him. He will come over to greet her at noon today, so it's like this. Booma said, taking out a Samsung Dragon Ball from her backpack and giving it to the middle-aged man. Uncle, do you have such beads? This. It's the first time I've seen such a beautiful bead. At this moment, an old lady standing outside eating melons walked in. I have. My beads are just like yours. Sure enough, it's here. Booma said happily. Grandma Bowsy, do you have any? The middle-aged man said. Grandma Bowsy took out a bead with 6 red stars from her pants pocket. This Dragon Ball is exactly a 6-star Dragon Ball. That's it. It's a 6-star Dragon Ball. Booma said. This was picked up by my grandmother outside a long time ago. Grandma Bowsy said. Booma. Grandma, let's see if this is good. Let's help you defeat that monster called Oolong. How about you give me this 6-star Dragon Pearl? Really? I'm glad you have this heart, but as a girl, it's probably very difficult for you to defeat him. It's not me knocking him down, it's the little ghost next to me knocking him down. Little devil. After listening, Sun Wukong glanced at Booma. It's Goku next to me who wants to knock him down. But girl, it's outrageous for you to let such a small child knock him down. The middle-aged man was somewhat skeptical about this. Don't worry, although Wukong is small in size, his strength is very strong. It seems that you can only give it a try. If he hadn't defeated Oolong and Oolong couldn't find anyone to vent his anger, would those girls? An uncle standing outside and watching expressed his concerns. That's right. My auntie doesn't know where she was taken. A bystander villager and a middle-aged woman said. Hurry up, please save my daughter, please. A middle-aged man who chose to believe in Sun Wukong walked in from outside and held on to Sun Wukong's hand. At this moment, a wicked smile suddenly appeared on Booma's face. I suddenly came up with a good idea. Good idea. Everyone looked at Booma. After hearing this, Sun Wukong turned his head and glanced at Booma Dao behind him. Your good idea, isn't it to make me pretend to be that girl? Congratulations, you guessed it right. You're really smart. Booma smiled and said. I don't dress up as a woman. Wukong, don't be stubborn, just endure for the Dragon Ball. No, I have other ways to defeat him. Other methods. What methods? Bang! Sun Wukong spoke and suddenly turned into a red little bird. The villagers and middle-aged man standing outside were immediately startled when they looked at it. You are the Dragon King. No, this is just a transformation technique. Sun Wukong changed back to his own appearance. You also know how to transform. The middle-aged man exclaimed in surprise. Yeah, can't we? No. After hearing this, the middle-aged man shook his head repeatedly. So Wukong, what other methods are the ones you just mentioned? I'll turn into a stone or something, right next to you. All you need to do is lure him out. Although he easily defeated the Oolong, he didn't know where the Oolong was hiding now. So he still followed the original work and waited obediently for Oolong to deliver it to his door. Are you saying, let that girl lure him out? Bulma has completely removed us. She wouldn't be so foolish, luring Oolong out with the girl. But is there any danger in this way? The middle-aged man expressed some concern about this. Sun Wukong smiled. If you don't believe in my strength, then forget it. Okay, we believe in you. The middle-aged man gritted his teeth and said. I didn't eat much in the morning, do you have anything to eat? Sun Wukong asked the middle-aged man and the villagers outside. After hearing this, middle-aged men and villagers took out food from their homes to give to Sun Wukong. However, most of the people in this village are farmers, so the food they receive is mostly sweet potatoes, eggs, noodles, and so on. At noon, the girl dressed up slightly and stood in the village waiting for Oolong to come. Sun Wukong turned into a big stone next to the girl. The girl was very nervous because she was afraid of a dragon. At this moment, a man with red skin all over his body, a tall figure, a pair of sharp corners on his head, and a bouquet of flowers in his hands walked towards the girl from behind. This person is exactly Oolong. The girl heard the footsteps coming from behind and turned back with an extremely nervous expression on her face, seeing the Oolong transform into a red ghost. The girl was frightened by the appearance of the Oolong. Beautiful Mississippi. Before finishing his own words, the big stone next to the girl suddenly turned into a person. This person is Sun Wukong. Transformation. Transformation technique. The Oolong was startled. He didn't expect to encounter someone who could transform like him today. Is this his true face? But when I was in kindergarten, I didn't seem to have seen him. Just as Oolong was full of thoughts in his heart, Sun Wukong lifted his hands and directly used his superpowers, making Oolong's body immobile. Body. I can't move anymore. After seeing it, Sun Wukong immediately turned to Bulma, who was hiding behind the house. Bulma, I have already controlled him, he can't move anymore. After hearing this, Bulma immediately walked out from behind the house. But damn it, who are you? Why did my body suddenly become immobile? Sun Wukong smiled. My name is Sun Wukong, and now you have developed my superpower. Super ability. Upon hearing this, Oolong's face changed. Alright Oolong, I have a question for you now. Where is the girl you kidnapped from this village now? If you don't say it, don't blame me for being polite. Okay, let me tell you. They are right at my house now. Okay, now you go find them. Okay, but I can't move now. How do you want me to take you to find them? Chapter 6. Yamu Tea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening, Sun Wukong immediately put down his hands. Oolong's body immediately resumed movement. Alright, can you take us to find those girls now? Sure. As Oolong spoke, he brought Sun Wukong and the villagers to the large house he had bought through searching. Moreover, due to the limited duration of his transformation technique, he has reverted back to his original pig-like appearance. Some of the girls abducted by Oolong are doing yoga, while others are lying on the sofa watching TV. Oolong, you're back. You told me before that you wanted to buy me a gold bracelet. When will you buy it for me? A girl sitting on the sofa heard footsteps coming from behind and said. The girl said, looked back and saw Sun Wukong and the villagers. The parents of those girls were shocked to see that their daughter was not only fine, but also gaining a lot of weight. Dad! Dad! That girl didn't expect that Oolong would bring their parents today. At this moment, Grandma Bowsy walked over to Bulma with a smile and gave her the Dragon Ball. Here's this bead for you, Anyway, you all helped us rescue these girls. Thank you. Bulma smiled and took the 6-star Dragon Ball. Subsequently, the parents of other girls took their own daughter away. As for the house in Oolong, it was compensated to these villagers. Oolong sincerely apologizes to these villagers. After the incident, Sun Wukong and Bulma continued to set off in search of the 7 Dragon Ball. Great, we just need to find 2 more Dragon Balls and we can gather 7 of them. Bulma, if you get the Dragon Ball, what wish do you want to make? Sun Wukong asked. I want to make a wish to the dragon, to have a perfect lover. Perfect lover. Sun Wukong remained speechless about this. This Bulma is still just like the original anthology. This also reminded Sun Wukong of the anime Detective Conan he had watched in his previous life. Suzuki Yukiko in Detective Conan, like Bulma, is also a very wealthy young lady. Even after having a boyfriend, Kyoko Makoto, she still has a crush on other men. Yeah, by the way, is Wukong's transformation technique the same as Oolong's, which can only last for 5 minutes? No, my transformation technique is based on physical exertion. Physical strength. Yes, it shouldn't be a problem to transform for a few hours a day. A few hours. So Wukong, why don't you turn into a blanket and sit on the somersault cloud? How about I sit on the blanket? No way. Why? Anyway, you're in such good health, I shouldn't have any problem sitting on you for a few hours. Why don't you try being suppressed for a few hours? I'll just say it, if you really don't want it, then forget it. The next day, Bulma drove a flying car to a desert. In this desert, there are many mushroom-shaped boulders. Because the temperature here is relatively high, both Sun Wukong and Bulma constantly sweat from their heads. In a mushroom hole above Bulma and his companions, a handsome man with long hair was sitting on a stone table. This person is exactly Yamcha. At this moment, a petite kitten with blue fur on its back, white face, chest, abdomen, inner ears, and top of its tail, and 2 beards on each side of its cheeks, flew in from the outside. His name is Pool, an animal like Earthling and superpower. He attended the Southern Transformation Kindergarten with Oolong and later became a partner with Yamcha. Pool. Yamucha young master, there's a situation. Let's listen. There are 2 people outside, one driving a flying car and the other sitting on a yellow cloud. Yellow clouds. Is it a new type of transportation? I don't know. Pool shook his head. Anyway, let's pursue them first and never let the prey we have run away. Pool nodded. After speaking, the 2 immediately walked out. Yamcha took out a 10,000 energy capsule from her body and pressed it, throwing it to the ground in front of her. Bang! With a burst of white smoke, a flying vehicle appeared on the ground. Yamcha quickly got on the flying horse and piloted the aircraft to chase after Sun Wukong and the others. Because of the desert here, there is sand everywhere. After driving the aircraft, Yamcha quickly raised a lot of sand and dust on the ground. Sun Wukong looked back as if he had noticed and saw Yamcha chasing after him. Bulma also followed Sun Wukong's gaze and looked back, seeing Yamcha and Puer. Wukong, who is that person behind me? I think it should be a bandit. Strong. Bandit. Bulma was startled. She didn't expect that they would encounter a robber today. At this moment, Yamcha shouted at the 2 of them. You 2 better stop me obediently, otherwise I'll fire the missile. Guide. Missiles. It's okay, Bulma. If he launches a missile, I can make him pause the missile. After hearing this, Bulma continued to drive forward. Damn it. Yamucha saw that the 2 people did not listen to advice, so she immediately aimed her portable missile at them and launched it. Not long after the missile was launched, Sun Wukong raised his right hand and made the missile stop in mid-air. What? Yamcha was startled. As the aircraft was still moving forward, it was getting closer and closer to the missile parked in mid-air. Not good. After seeing it, Yamcha immediately applied the emergency brake. Boom. With a loud explosion, the missile exploded in mid-air. Although Yamcha stopped before the missile explosion, it was also hit by the shock wave generated by the explosion and fell off the aircraft. Young Master Yamcha. Pool flew to the side of the fallen Yamcha. Damn it. Yamcha let out an angry cry and quickly got up from the ground. Young Master Yamcha, what exactly happened just now? Why did the missile suddenly stop? I don't know either. So what should we do next? Keep chasing. Yamcha said, went to the fallen aircraft, helped it up, continued to pilot the aircraft, and chased after the two people. Don't you give up yet. Sun Wukong saw Yamcha continuing to chase after him and said to Bulma who was driving. Bulma, that guy is continuing to chase after us. So what should we do, Wukong? I have no choice but to defeat you. Sun Wukong said and jumped off the somersault cloud. After driving a distance forward, Bulma also stopped the car. Well, aren't they running away? Yamcha watched as two people stopped. After a while, Yamcha brought Pool to Sun Wukong. Little devil, why don't you guys escape? Sun Wukong smiled. Facing you, I don't need to escape yet. Chapter 7. Qiqi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is that right? After hearing this, Yamcha immediately drew a long sword from her waist and charged towards Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong's eyes emitted a white light, and Yamcha's body immediately became immobile. Body. I can't move anymore. Young Master Yamcha. Difficult. Can you say that you have superpowers? Congratulations on getting it right. Sun Wukong smiled and said. You despicable guy, you have the ability not to use superpowers. Don't you also use martial arts? This. Yamu Tea was momentarily speechless. Besides, even if I use superpowers, it's still a part of my strength. As Sun Wukong spoke, he walked up to Yamcha and swung his right fist towards his abdomen. Yamcha let out a loud scream and her body flew backwards like a thread. Shoo! Boom! 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 Yamcha knocked down several mushroom boulders behind him. The giant rock fragments that were finally knocked down were crushed on the ground. Young Master Yamcha. After seeing it, Pool immediately flew towards the gravel. One hand reached out from the gravel, and then Yamcha crawled out of it all, looking at Sun Wukong with anger in her heart. This is the first time I've been in such a mess like today. Why do you still want to be beaten up by me? After hearing this, although Yamcha was angry in her heart, she was also very wary of Sun Wukong's superpowers. What's your name? Sun Wukong. Okay, I remember your name, Sun Wukong. When we meet again, I will definitely defeat you. Sun Wukong did not respond to this. In the original Dragon Ball, the opponents Sun Wukong once defeated were told to him in this way. But only Vegeta did it, although it was only a few brief times. Pool, let's go. It's young Master Yamcha. After speaking, the two immediately left. Sun Wukong sat back on the somersault cloud and continued his journey with Bulma. Now he only hopes to quickly find the 7 Dragon Balls and start practicing. His strength is really too weak now. 3 days later. Sun Wukong and Bulma arrived at a mountain that was raging with fire, according to the Dragon Ball radar display. A man with a huge figure, a pair of bull horns on his head, wearing a light blue shirt, a red cloak behind him, and a golden helmet on his head was directing his servants to extinguish the fire. This person is the second disciple of the Turtle Immortal, the Bull Demon King. Bulma immediately became a little anxious when she saw the Dragon Ball she was looking for, right on this burning mountain. What to do, Wukong? The Dragon Ball we are looking for is right on this burning mountain. This. Before Sun Wukong could answer, the Bull Demon King, who was directing the firefighting, thought that Sun Wukong and Buma were going to snatch the treasure from his burning castle, so he fiercely asked the two of them. Did you two just say you wanted to snatch my treasure? No, we're just looking for a pearl called Dragon Ball. Buma explained. The Bull Demon King snorted coldly. What Dragon Ball? Everything in this castle belongs to me. The Bull Demon King spoke and picked up the axe in his right hand, chopping towards Sun Wukong. Jiggling. Sun Wukong shouted towards the somersault cloud. The somersault cloud immediately appeared from the sky and flew down. The Bull Demon King, who originally intended to chop Sun Wukong, immediately stopped the axe he had chopped in his hand when he saw the Jido cloud. Sun Wukong took the opportunity to sit on the somersault cloud and flew it into the sky. Kid, are you a somersault cloud? The Bull Demon King asked. Sun Wukong nodded. Where do you get this somersault cloud from? This is a gift from Grandpa Guixian. Great, you really know Teacher Wu Tian. After hearing this, the Bull Demon King jumped up happily on the ground. Buma looked puzzled about this. Do you know where Mr. Wu Tian lives now? Are you talking about Grandpa Guixian? The Bull Demon King nodded. I know, he lives on an island now. Is he okay now? It's pretty good. At this moment, the Bull Demon King suddenly discovered the Rui stick in Sun Wukong's hand. You shouldn't be the lucky stick, right? Yeah. But how could you have a lucky stick in your hand? This is what my grandfather left for me. Your grandfather shouldn't be Sun Wukong, right? Sun Wukong nodded. Great, so you're Wukong's grandson. So what's your name? Sun Wukong. Wukong, my name is Bull Demon King, and your grandfather and I are martial brothers. We once practiced together at Master Wutian. Is that right? Wukong, I have something I need your help with right now. What's going on? Yes, I would like you to help me find Teacher Wu Tian and ask him to borrow a banana fan to put out the fire for me. Banana fan. The Bull Demon King nodded. By the way, my daughter Qiqi has also gone to borrow a banana fan, but she hasn't come back yet. I think she might be lost. If you see her, help me bring her back. What does she look like? After hearing this, the Bull Demon King immediately described Qiqi's appearance. Okay, I know now. If I touch her, I'll help you bring her back. The Bull Demon King nodded. Then please do it. After speaking, Sun Wukong immediately sat on the somersault cloud and set off. After a while, Sun Wukong saw a girl in armor walking on a path in the mountains below. This person is exactly Qiqi. Sun Wukong let the somersault cloud down and stopped in front of Qiqi. What kind of person are you? Qiqi looked at Sun Wukong with a wary expression on her face and said. My name is Sun Wukong, it was your father, the Bull Demon King, who asked me to come find you. Dad. Yeah, he asked me to take you to find the banana fan. Is that right? After hearing this, Qiqi immediately let go of her guard and said. What is this cloud? This cloud is called the somersault cloud, only pure-hearted people can sit on it. Sun Wukong said this and jumped onto the somersault cloud. You can also jump on it. Okay. After hearing this, Qiqi immediately jumped up. Then hold on to me tightly and be careful not to fall off. Okay. After hearing this, Qiqi blushed and hugged Sun Wukong. Except for Sun Wukong, she really hasn't hugged any other boys. Jiggling, let's go. Jiggling received Sun Wukong's command and immediately flew forward quickly. Guixian Island, Guixian House. At this moment, the turtle fairy was smiling happily while looking at the beautiful magazine in his hand. A yellow cloud landed on the island. This somersault cloud is exactly the same as the somersault cloud. Wukong, is this the residence of teacher Wutian? Yeah. Sun Wukong spoke and walked towards the Turtle Immortal house with Qiqi. Turtle Immortal Grandpa. Sun Wukong knocked on the door with his hand a few times and found no one to respond. So he opened the door and walked in with Qiqi. Chapter 8. Turtle Sect Qigong. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 9. Gravity Chamber. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 10. Klin. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Sun Wukong shouted a few times, but seeing no response inside, he had to open the door and walk in on his own. After entering the house, Sun Wukong saw the turtle fairy who was fascinated by watching yoga. Sun Wukong walked up to the TV and blocked the program watched by the turtle fairy. Move away, don't block me from watching TV. The turtle fairy waved his hand and said. After speaking, he suddenly realized that the person in front of him was Sun Wukong. Wukong, aren't you Wukong? Yeah, Grandpa Guixian. Why did you come over again today? Grandpa Turtle Immortal, I want to learn martial arts from you. The turtle fairy let out a cold snort. You've done me a bad job before, you dare to learn from me. Sun Wukong smiled and said. Grandpa Turtle Immortal, I know you're definitely not such a stingy person. I am such a stingy person. Since that's the case, I'll have to leave. Sun Wukong said as he turned around and walked outward. Isn't this kid really leaving? The Turtle Immortal muttered in his heart. When Sun Wukong left the Turtle Immortal house, the Turtle Immortal walked out to see if Sun Wukong had really left. The Turtle Fairy glanced at the island and found that there was no figure of Sun Wukong on the island. Turtle Immortal Grandpa. Just then, a voice came from behind. Turtle Fairy turned around and looked back, seeing Sun Wukong smiling at him. You. Didn't you say, are you leaving? No, I just said I'm going out. You kid. Grandpa Turtle Immortal, can you teach me martial arts? Cough. After hearing this, the Turtle Fairy immediately coughed. For the sake of your grandfather, I'll reluctantly accept you. Sun Wukong nodded. As soon as he finished speaking, the Turtle Fairy suddenly saw something swimming towards the front of the island. What is that? Sun Wukong followed the gaze of the Turtle Fairy and saw a person rowing a small boat on the sea. That person is short in stature, wearing a yellow monk's robe, bald, and with 6 ring scars on his head. His name is Klin and he was a disciple of Dorian Temple. Because I was ostracized by my senior brothers at Duolin Temple, I came to seek guidance from Turtle Immortal. Oh, it turned out to be a ship. I thought it was something. As Klin rowed closer and closer, the Turtle Fairy gradually saw the small boat clearly. Sun Wukong nodded. But he seems to have swiped towards us. The Turtle Fairy nodded. Ha! Just when the small boat was only a few meters away from the shore of Guixian Island, Klin stepped on the boat with both feet and jumped towards the shore. Ah! After jumping up with both feet, Klin fell into the sand by the shore because his body was not well controlled. Sun Wukong and Guixian were speechless. This is clearly a case of not being able to pretend and being buried instead. Wukong, pull him out. Sun Wukong walked forward and pulled Klin out of the sand like a carrot. Pooh, pooh. Klin dug out his ear and spat out the sand he had eaten in his mouth. The Turtle Fairy looked at Klin and said. Who are you? What are you doing here? Hello, my name is Klin. Are you teacher Wu Tian, the god of martial arts? I came here today to learn from you. Are you also here to apprentice? Yeah. Klin spoke and glanced at Sun Wukong, who had also come to pay his respects with him. No, I usually don't accept apprentices casually. After listening, Klin immediately knelt down and kowtowed. Teacher Wu Tian, please accept me as your disciple. I really want to worship you as my teacher. No, if I say no, it's just not possible. After hearing this, Klin's face became solemn, and he opened the package he had brought and took out 2 photo magazines to give to the Turtle Fairy. Teacher Wu Tian, if you take me as your disciple, I will give you these 2 books. After hearing this, the Turtle Fairy immediately took the magazine and flipped through it. How about Teacher Wu Tian? Klin smiled and said. After reading it, the Turtle Fairy returned the 2 magazines to Klin. Ah! Klin was taken aback. He didn't expect that the Turtle Fairy would still refuse like this. Damn it, it seems we have to resort to a ultimate move. Klin whispered in his heart. Immediately, he opened the entire package, and inside it, except for clothes, everything was a collection of photos. Teacher Wu Tian, as long as you take me as your disciple, all of these are yours. After hearing this, the Turtle Fairy immediately picked up the magazine from the bag and flipped through it. The Turtle Fairy laughed while flipping through the magazine. How about Teacher Wu Tian? Klin smiled and said. Before he came, he made various inquiries about the Turtle Fairy. Cough. The Turtle Fairy coughed. For the sake of these magazines, I'll take you as my disciple. Thank you, Teacher Wu Tian. However. But what? But you two worship me as your teacher, I still have one condition. What conditions? Klin asked. I want you two to help find a girl to do housework. Girls. Yeah, otherwise I'll teach you how to cultivate. Who's cooking? But. This is an island, where are there any girls? It's okay, Wukong has a somersault cloud, he can take you outside to find it. Jiggling. After listening, Klin looked puzzled. Wukong, why don't you call Jiggling to show him? Okay. Sun Wukong spoke and shouted towards the sky. Jiggling. As soon as the words fell, a yellow cloud flew down from the sky and landed in front of the 2 of them. This is the somersault cloud. The Turtle Fairy said. But only people with pure hearts can sit on this somersault cloud, I'm afraid. Is the soul pure? The Turtle Fairy nodded. Anyway, give it a try. How do we sit up then? Klin asked. Just jump on it. Okay. After listening, Klin immediately jumped towards the somersault cloud. Bang! Klin's body passed through the somersault cloud and his buttocks landed heavily. It hurts so much. It seems that you have an impure soul. What is the purpose of asking me to be your teacher? Upon hearing this, Klin was immediately frightened and knelt in front of the Turtle Fairy, saying. No, Teacher Wu Tian. I just want to learn martial arts from you and make girls like me. The Turtle Fairy patted Klin's bald head with his hand and said. So, that's why you can't sit on the somersault cloud. Yes, can Mr. Wu Tian sit on it? Klin looked at Sun Wukong. Of course, Wukong, you can sit up and show him. It's Grandpa Guixian. Sun Wukong said and immediately jumped onto the somersault cloud. Klin saw that Sun Wukong really didn't fall from the cloud, and a hint of surprise immediately appeared on his face. Klin, why don't you and Wukong set off now to find the girl? But Teacher Wu Tian, I can't sit on that cloud.